Hello intertubers and welcome to How to Play Frontier Part 6. So this episode is going to be about alternative careers, that's alternatives to trading and anything you might find on the bulletin board. You see, I'm currently at Zeons. I'm here because you can buy any ship upgrade here, so that's convenient. I've also been doing a little bit of grinding. You can tell by the time it's later than it was when we left off. I've just been grinding the Imperial Navy. I'm now a Sir. It doesn't really matter, but that's my title. So, first career to look at is reverse piracy. The idea behind reverse piracy is very simple. Go to a dangerous place, get attacked, kill pirates, and then pick up any loot that they drop. Now, to pick up loot, I'm going to need two things. First of all, fuel scoop. A fuel scoop is a device that lets you scoop up hydrogen fuel from gas giants and stars. It could be useful for a ship that runs on hydrogen fuel. Since my ship runs on military fuel, it's very questionable. However, the next thing to fit is the cargo scoop conversion, and that lets you pick up cargo dropped by other ships. So, let's go to Reedquat and see if we receive the traditional welcome. That didn't take long, did it? Oh, that could do. So, the way to pick up cargo is fairly simple. Fly through it, but make sure it's at the bottom half of the screen. There we go, picked up some alloys and... So, I think the idea behind this is to pick up cargo. I'm not sure if metal alloys is cargo. I think that is like chunks of the ship's hull. Okay, this is a bigger ship than an Eagle, so maybe it carries more stuff. And maybe not. Oops, oh well. Ah, now that's more like it. Some actual useful cargo. So I want to be careful because when something's this valuable, I really don't want to fly into it. So. Another dissatisfied customer. Oh, is that it? That's pathetic for Reedquat. Nothing. Okay. There's actually one other thing I can do, which is dump my radioactives to make room, although whether I'll find enough stuff, I'm not sure I even need to do that. Oh boy. Imperial Courier with an energy bomb. And all I get is two lousy chunks of metal alloys. You know, that felt right, oh well. Morris Star, though. At least it's an easy target. Whoa! 3 chunks of metal alloys. I am so blessed. Alright, so repairs and servicing. 17.25 multiplied by 4 is about 70. So I expect this will cost me 700. So 986 here. Get down to 296. And sell the medicines. 918. Sell the metal alloys. And I made an absolutely pathetic profit. So is this worth it? Obviously not. You can make so much more money by trading. And that really is a shame. You'd think that reverse piracy was good because you get to sell stuff without buying it first. Problem is, what you're selling is 99% metal alloys, which is not a particularly expensive product. See, I've somehow lost it. Yeah, metal alloys, you gain 27. Well, you can easily gain something like 200 credits of profit by trading something like computers or robots. Yeah, both of those would fetch pretty high price here. So, the conclusion for this one is that reverse piracy is fun, but it's completely useless. It's not just that it doesn't make good use of your hull, you're making less profit than you would if you just use the 8 tons, because remember you're paying 6 tons for a fuel scoop and 2 tons for a conversion. The lost trade alone on that 8 tons is more than you're making from scooping your cargo. So it's very unfortunate that pirates don't carry good stuff, but they generally don't, and that means reverse piracy is not a good use of anyone's time. Okay, next career choice is the Asteroid miner. The idea behind this one is simple. Buy a mining laser and shoot bits off asteroids and collect them. So I'll be needing to, let's see, sell my trusty 5 megawatt pulse laser and fit the 30 megawatt mining laser. Now this weapon is intended for shooting up asteroids, but it is actually 6 times more powerful than the 5 megawatt laser, which means it's a really nasty combat weapon if you can shoot accurately. It does have a few drawbacks like terrible fire rate and excessive overheating, but if you can get one-shot kills with it, that's not really a problem. Also, I'll be needing a fuel scoop and a cargo scoop conversion again, just to pick stuff up. So the reason I'm currently at Earth or Mars is because, it's because it has very easy access to named asteroids, which I'm having a very hard time selecting. Alright, there we go. Demos. There's a lot of things that are described in this screen as an asteroidal body, but there's only a few special ones in Sol that are actually these peanut-shaped asteroids, which are mineable. You also sometimes randomly arrive in an asteroid field when you hyperspace, but of course can't really control that. So, just checking fuel scoop conversion, mining laser. Off we go. So we're pretty close, but the autopilot will help out here. There is, unfortunately, a bug which I will get against pretty soon. So yeah, arrive in the vicinity of target. Unfortunately, I'm not going to crash into it today. So you want to get reasonably close to the asteroid. Say within 4 kilometers. And then start shooting holes in it. And unfortunately what you see there was shooting the asteroid did spawn minerals, but then the minerals collided immediately with the asteroid and died. Gotta love this game. So, fix for that, advance time, hold down the fire button, and a small number of these things will survive. So, yeah, shooting up an asteroid liberates both minerals and rubbish. Don't really care about the rubbish. Let's go after these minerals. Well, that's a bit weird. I'm just flying straight through the minerals and not scooping them up. This is a bug. I don't really understand it, but it seems like you can clear it by hyperspacing. You'll notice I'm suffering slightly from the bug where actual speed is only half the speed you ask for. not really a big problem. Just got to remember to ask for twice the speed you need. So here we are at Deimos again, liberating a ton of minerals. So the autopilot will help me. Oopsie, never mind. Let's go for this one then. Still, the fact that I can collide with it is a very good sign. It indicates that the dreaded bug isn't present. I do have spare cargo, don't I? One more attempt at this. Now, if you did this a lot, you'd probably get good. Ta-da! Scooping minerals into cargo bay. So with this ship, if I dumped all the radioactives, never mind. Let's just ignore that. If I did all this, I could get maybe 18 tons or even 20 tons of minerals. And 20 tons of minerals would be worth about 138 credits. Yeah, so obviously this is absolutely terrible. It's kind of ridiculous that asteroid mining is even in the game if the rewards are going to be that bad. So yeah, moral of this story, do not bother with asteroid mining. Now, the third career path is a planet miner, for want of a better word. For this, you're probably going to need a larger ship, like a Tiger. So this ship is pretty big, weighs in at 100, or it weighs in at about 400 tons. Even so, it's a bit of a tight squeeze getting everything I want here. I've upgraded the hyperdrive to a class 5, which gives it a pretty good hyperspace range for something this big, 12.5. And then, of course, all the stuff I need to make this thing able to defend itself. But that still leaves enough space for 50 tons of fuel, which is enough to jump twice with this, and a mining machine. So you can buy the mining machine at the shipyard. It's essentially just an upgrade. And it's a fairly hefty one at 30 tons. The idea is you fly to some planet, land on the planet, and then deploy the mining machine. So what you're looking for is something like this. System explored, no registered settlements. So you're looking for a place that is essentially empty, so hopefully not mined out. Also needs to be a long way from Sol, but we're way out in the boonies here, so that's fine. Almost any of these planets could general, the heavier planets are the ones you want to land on. So perhaps this one 9 at 1.49 Earth masses. Like, if it's this one 9th planet would be a decent prospect. Slightly heavier than Earth, that is a fairly substantial planet which should have a lot of. Well, hopefully, it will have a decent amount of stuff, but we'll see. So first off, double jump to nowhere. And I thought the 9th planet would be a good one, so let's go there. Yeah, one slight problem with a ship this big, handling is fairly sluggish. Now there is a way to alleviate this, because this ship comes fitted with a turret. So you can point the turret in various directions, point it up or down. But here's a very funny thing, something that absolutely should not be possible. If your turret has a beam laser, so if your turret has a pulse laser, then you can fire that pulse laser while the game is paused. Instantly killing that poor guy. So, yeah, you can fire beam lasers while the game is paused, but it doesn't really do anything, because beam lasers, like what I have at the front here, that does damage over time. So if the game is paused, time is 0, and therefore so is damaged. But the pulse laser instantaneously delivers its whole damage without a shot. So, kind of a weird loophole and an obvious exploit. You can fire the pulse laser while paused. Do I trust the autopilot here? I'm not sure, but let's see. Using the rear engines, using the main engines to slow down. Turns out we're fine, okay. What to do with the flyby now? Alright, so it is usually a good idea to save before trying to land on a planet. too, but I think there is a problem here. I think this is one of those super high gravity planets. So you can see that, yeah, this is already a problem. I'm telling my ship, using manual control, not to do anything, and the ship's actually falling towards the planet. I really just want to find out how... so 27,000. And it might actually be possible to land on this planet. Yeah. So yeah. Planet has too high gravity. I think that's a bug. I don't think it should be that bad, but it is. So we probably can't do this. There's another slight issue, which is I don't have enough fuel to make another jump. But that's easily fixed. Let's go to the gas giant. I do not trust the autopilot. So once again, manual control to slow down. Actually, it was fine. Gas giants are big, you see. Now this ship has fuel scoops, which means it should be a simple enough job to slurp some fuel out of the atmosphere of this gas giant. There we go. Okay, that took long enough. Now, do you want to know a secret? Gas giants are good for more than just scooping fuel. This seems fine. Oopsie, yes, okay, so we'll just drop onto the ground at about 45 kilometers per hour. That's a survivable crash, isn't it? And yes, we're landed. And now we get this. We can deploy the mining machine. And it's mining water ice. Well, that's absolutely pathetic. Water ice, I think that costs less than a credit per ton. So what you're supposed to do is pick the machine up, fly somewhere else and put it down. But there's no need to move anywhere. Metal rich. Now this will mine metal alloys. Metal alloys sell for about 30 credits per ton. Not good enough. There's actually only one thing that's really worth mining, and that is precious metals. Aha, look at that. Rocky but contains some precious metals. So, where do I want to go now? There's some interesting planets like, you've got these random frontier outdoor worlds. Like, it's all frontier systems, really. Probably the most reasonable thing to do is go back to Zavance. Can't go there like that. We go via Fahoga, I guess. That makes sense. So. And we still can't hyperspace until we get out of the atmosphere. Until we get to an altitude of, I think, 1500. Because of red tape involving. Yes. Just 30 more space. Anyway, yeah. We could keep on scooping, but I think it's hyperspace time. What we now have is on one of these screens, we have the mining equipment. This tells me where all my stuff is. Although, I really wish it would tell me the sector. You just have to remember where iodine is. And what's being mined. Oh yes, one other thing. I forgot that this was the console version. Or I think the CD32 version of this Amiga version of Elite, and that means I can buy the navigation aid, which early versions of this game did not come with, but late versions do, and it's so nice. It just gives you a list of starports at the top. So you just click on one, and that's it. Target set to Ridley Scott. No need to zoom in and find the station. Might actually be one time when the target conversion makes sense. If your ship has fuel scoops anyway, then it only costs you an extra 2 tons. Imperial Courier. And I'm going to do the dirty. I really am. Mostly because I want to demonstrate something. Imperial Courier. Class 5 hyperdrive, 12 shields. Look at that. Mining laser smashes straight through the shields and a third of the hull. So, it's going to take that mining machine some time to do its job. So, I'm going to have a brief interlude here to talk about another possible career path, which is reasonably simple: smuggling. All you do is take something, doesn't even have to be made or export, but it helps. For example, battle weapons, sold at Zant for 550. And at Lave, illegal. This will only take a minute. Okay, so yeah, this ship is a bit big and it's difficult to miss, but that's true for both lasers and ships flying towards it. Concerned about this. That's a very nasty pulse laser. I can only take a few hits, right? This is an air fighter. It literally can't do anything to me. First off, I seem to have gotten in here without being scanned. That's great. Half the time, I'd have to pay a fine, so... Edward's Goods Emporium, that's an option. It's the only one, so... We'll see if it's legit. Bought battle weapons for 550. The natural selling price is slightly above that. At 544. Let's see if this is real or if it's a police trap. It's real. So yeah, you can sell your stuff and make an absolutely gigantic profit. Normally, you might be worried about getting caught, but in weird little backwaters like this, they may not care. There isn't really much I can trade back. So the only thing illegal is nerve gas, and yeah, you're not finding that. Best option, I think, is probably animal meat. Not a bad price for animal meat. So the reason I come back to Zaonce is so I can buy another one of these mining machines. You know what, I think I'll indulge with the target speed conversion, just in case someone else drops gemstones, and I still have almost enough fuel to double jump. I'm not going to need two nice little jumps in a row, really, am I? So it's time to pick up that mining machine and maybe put down another one. Collecting a mining machine is a bit easier than dumping one because, well, you can just click here to target it and then let the autopilot do the work, well, assuming you don't stupidly click somewhere else and cancel the target. Let the autopilot do the work. Now, I have a lot of things to say about the autopilot, mostly bad things of course, but here I'm very impressed. It's flying towards the mining machine and it's compensating for the planet's gravity by occasionally pointing the ship straight up and firing the main thrusters, which are much more powerful than the bottom thrusters. It's actually getting to about 500 kilometers away before I have to take over, and in space, 500 kilometers is a tiny distance. So here we have a problem. I've landed too far away, and on top of that, the gravity of this planet is actually beating my takeoff acceleration. So just watch my many, many failed attempts to launch. It turns out the fix is to go to external view and zoom out. Yeah, that doesn't make the slightest trace of sense, and I'm not going to try to explain it. Two, one, there we go. And now we see we have a different icon. Cargo bay full. Okay. I can deal with that. Precious metals. My cargo hold is full, is it? It's not. But I think what it actually means is that's all that I'm getting out of this mining machine. So that principle is mining. So this requires an enormous amount of setup. I mean, this thing still says it's mining precious metals, so I'm going to leave it. Aha! Precious metals! So we now have two machines mining precious metals. now. Zones, I guess. Nice. I mean, if it's worth going to those absurd lengths to mine precious metals, then it's surely worth scooping them up. There's a noticeably better haul this time than when I intentionally attempted reverse piracy. So that's mining for you, and I think it's clear that precious metals is the only reasonable thing you'd want to mine. Precious metals selling here for almost 2,000. Compare that to minerals, 6.9, or metal alloys, whatever they are. Well, yeah, or metal alloys at 25. Not worth it, but precious metals, oh yeah. So it would take an enormous amount of setup, but it's certainly possible because there's no limit to how many mining machines you can have. So you can just find a planet with metals on it, or like I did, and then just put as many mining machines on it. Just put loads of them, maybe 20, and then periodically just visit that system and fill up your hull with precious metals. And then go back and sell them. You can certainly do it, and it may be more efficient than trading, because if a single run can get you 1,800 credits per ton of hull, that beats out almost any legitimate trade, and quite a lot of illegal trade as well. So you can do this, but hardly anybody does because it's fiddly and annoying, and not many people know you can land on gas giants. So, I hope that was fun, and see you next time.